You're tuned into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Watson's Playbook, episode number 57. Riding solo this week as Jeff is busy doing other things. We wish him all the well. Guys, we got a pretty loaded episode today. Quite a bit of things to talk about. You know, the last couple of weeks has been funny because in the beginning of the work week, it's kind of, you know, the last couple of weeks has been kind of slow. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about, really. Let me try and figure this out. Hopefully some news feeds and everything starts happening. And by you know, Thursday and Friday roll around, it's a booming. So we got quite a bit different things to talk about. The spotlight of the week is going to be mainly focused on the NBA playoffs. And then we got some headlines, some interesting headlines this week for you. So let's jump into it real quick. The spotlight of the week, NBA, the Suns take care of business last night as they get the job done. The 130-103 as Chris Paul puts the team on his back with 41 points. Chris Paul has never made it to the finals. He's actually been on teams that have been up 3-1 and have kind of choked it away to get there. So this is his first finals appearance, and I was hoping for this kind of performance from him last night in the game where he said, I am going to win this game. I put the team on my back, 41 points. Devin Booker put up 22 points as well. So I'm glad to see him finally make it. The Suns, this is the first finals for the Suns in 30 years. So congratulations to them. We're still waiting to see who they're going to face in the Eastern Conference. But the Suns, throughout this whole playoffs, like last year, the bubble started, and you had the bubble in Disney World down there, and the Suns were 8-0 in the playoffs, or not in the playoffs, in the bubble. And they missed the playoffs, barely, but they went 8-0 in the bubble. They missed the playoffs. They continue to bring that kind of energy into the season, and it's really showed. I think when you look at this team through the playoffs, and it's one thing I've talked about is they're a complete team. That they get scoring from other people. Devin Booker is consistent. Chris Paul, when playing healthy, has been the second scorer there on the team. And then you've had other players like Ayers step up and different players like that have put up consistent numbers and played really good defense and people making plays. So to me, they've had one of the better all around team performances during the playoffs that I've seen. So but last night Chris Paul said, "Look, I'm not losing a 3-1 series again," and he puts 41 points. Now, congratulations to them. People might say it's kind of fluky. I think if Kawhi Leonard was healthy, I think the Suns probably do lose. If Anthony Davis and LeBron James were healthy, I think the Suns do lose. But the Suns are here because they've played in hard-fought games and got to that point. Now, the Clippers just had their most successful season in NBA in their franchise history. This is the first they've ever made it. Congratulations, clap, clap, clap. Go hang another useless banner. But it feels like a failure. It feels like they've come up short once again. Last year they added Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and you had this team on paper. It looked to be on their way to a championship, and they failed last year. They have 3-1 to Denver. They collapsed. They get rid of the head coach. They bring in Tyronn Lue, and it looked like this season they were kind of coasting their way into the playoffs. And when they get to the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard will play more because he sits out a lot to keep himself healthy. And he didn't have to go through the Lakers this year. Lakers got put out pretty early, so this looked like their easier path to the championship, and they failed. Kawhi Leonard gets hurt. Paul George put his team on his back, but he couldn't do it by himself, and especially against a team, like I just said, with the Suns, who were playing complete basketball, team basketball, getting multiple guys going and scoring multiple people above double digits in the 20s and 30s. So it's hard for one guy to put his team on his back. Paul George did it. I think we got to give him some credit, but could get the job done last night, and it was just kind of the Suns. It was the Suns game, the Suns series. Now, interesting to see. Now I'm a Lakers fan, so I have no sympathy for the Clippers. They think because they got this team that they run LA and everything, but it's just a false. It's just in their head. They haven't been good in a long, long time. Like I said, this is the first time they made the Western Conference Finals in franchise history. So successful season for them, but it also feels like a failure at the end of the day because the expectations when you get two superstars in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and the team they have around him and the coaching change, you'd think that they would make it to the championship, but they failed to do so. And a lot of it, don't get me wrong, had to do with Kawhi Leonard's injury. I'm not saying it didn't, but the Suns were injured as well. Lakers are injured as well. Lakers are out. We can't throw that excuse out there anymore. So without Kawhi Leonard, the Suns were the better team. Is it time to blow the Clippers up? I would say no. I would say it's time to figure out something. Something's not working right. I think with Tyronn Lue there, they went. They got to the Western Conference Finals. I think if they run it back, they'd be fine. They've got good players off the bench. They've got the two superstars. I really think it's because Kawhi Leonard got hurt, but they got to hope that he wants to stay. There's rumors floating around that he's unhappy because he feels like the Clippers have misdiagnosed his injury. He feels like they downplayed his injury. We still don't know exactly what was wrong with Kawhi Leonard. Did he have a torn ACL? We knew it was a knee injury, but they would not come out with the information. I don't know what the hush-hush was about it, but it's very fishy. I mean, maybe that's Kawhi Leonard saying don't say anything. Maybe the team didn't want to say anything. I don't know what's going on with that situation, but apparently the reports are that he's extremely frustrated with him, and that's exactly what he pulled with the Spurs. When things weren't going his way, he got hurt. He blamed the medical staff for misdiagnosing him, and he found his way out. They shipped him off to Toronto, and he ends up winning a championship there. But they got to hope he wants to stay, because without Kawhi Leonard, you're back to square one. You still got Paul George, probably stays, but without Kawhi Leonard, we just saw that you can't get to the ultimate goal and the ultimate championship. So they've got to hope that he stays. He's a very interesting guy. There's been reports, and I saw it earlier, that the Mavericks are the favorite to land him. We'll see about all of that. Okay, we'll see about all that in the offseason. It'll be a very interesting offseason to see where Kawhi Leonard might go, where Damian Lillard might go, and everything in that matter. But the Clippers' dumpster fire is pretty funny, in my opinion, being a Lakers fan. All right, the second game, it was the game before last night, was the Bucks game. The Bucks take a big loss the other night in Game 4 as they get blown out 110-88, but that's not the only loss that everybody's talking about. Giannis has hyperextended his knee. If you saw the play, his knee is bent backwards in a way that it shouldn't have been, and it was very painful to watch. He's probably out for the rest of the series. Now, there's no structural damage, so I don't know how he didn't rip an ACL, tear an ACL, something. But there's no structural damage. They say he could play in the series again. I don't know if I want to force him in to play if he's not healthy. To me, this is the worst injury he could have. He relies on his physicality more than anything else, more than a lot of players do. That's his strength, dunking the ball, getting down in the paint. He's not that great of an outside shooter, so he's getting to the bucket. He's alley-ooping. He's dunking the ball with force. And he's getting out rebounds. This is his game. This is what he does, and the power that he puts on his legs. It's very difficult for him to do so with a hyperextended knee. I don't know if they're going to force him back into the game, but to my issue with this is that the Hawks were up big even when Giannis was in this game. Giannis got hurt later in the third quarter, so the Hawks look to be playing better right now than the Bucks. This is a huge loss. If Giannis can't come back, I don't think the supporting cast for Milwaukee will be able to win. I just don't think they will. Now, the Hawks looked very good. They're missing Trae Young. They played really good basketball without their star player. They're playing complete basketball, team basketball, getting everybody involved there. I don't think the Bucks, though, are going to be able to win without Giannis. He's their leader. Middleton is a good player every now and then. Every other game he seems to be on. He was off the other night. Did not play well. I don't think he can step up and be a number one. I don't think he can. He has had those flashes where he'll come out and score 30-some-odd points. But if he's not on, then you're looking for Drew Holiday to step up. He's been pretty bad this year to make the money he's making. I just don't see it. I don't see them winning without Giannis. On the other hand, Young has suffered a deep bone bruise in his ankle after he tripped. He came down and stepped on a referee's foot the other night. Don't know when he will return. He'll probably return before Giannis. The Hawks, though, won the game without Trae Young playing 1 second of the ball game the other night. So I think we might see a Hawks-Suns championship. Now, it's only going into Game 5. The Suns are going to be able to rest up as they're still waiting to see what's going to happen in this series. Giannis has already been ruled out for Game 5. Trae Young, I'm not sure what his status is at the moment. Will he be playing? Will he not? I think they could probably rest him one more game. I think the Hawks will take the next game without Giannis playing, unless Chris Middleton goes off and they get some other scores. I just don't see that happening with his consistency issues, in my opinion. The Bucks have a decent roster, but without Giannis, the heart and soul, opening up the floor and everything else, getting those rebounds, I just don't see it happening. They could do it, but it's going to take a lot for Chris Middleton, who's been inconsistent at best, to step up and be a number one. And then you got to have Drew Holiday step up, and he's been really bad this year. He's been not what they thought he would be coming here. So I thought the pick with Drew Holiday was a pick of like, okay, this is a step in the right direction to make Giannis happy because he decided to stay, and I give him all the credit in the world for that. But now they've got to figure out something. If they end up losing, they got to figure out something that's going to get a third scorer there. They need a third scorer. They need Chris Middleton to be more consistent than he has been. The Hawks look good. I'm betting on not betting literally physical money on. I don't have that kind of money to be wasting, but my bet would be that the Hawks win this series without Giannis, and we're going to have a Phoenix versus Atlanta championship. And who would have ever thought that? If you bet money on that back before the season started, you would probably be rich if it turns out that way. I don't think the NBA likes it. The NBA wants the Lakers or someone like that in there, the Nets in there that draws the big crowd. They're going to have people watching. That's the series they probably wanted. When you have two teams that are huge markets, that don't have huge markets, then you're not getting as many people watching and everything. But we talked about it last week. The NBA playoffs are up 30%, and kind of went through maybe why that was. I don't know. I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do, again, with not competing up against the NFL. Maybe it's just different teams are in it, and you're tired of seeing the LeBron James go to the championship, or you're tired of seeing Golden State super team, and tired of seeing all that kind of thing. So we'll see. Keep on going forward, and keep watching the NBA. It's been fantastic playoffs. It's been entertaining. So keep watching that. The NBA will end up, I believe, right before spring training starts for the NFL, or pretty close to about that point. So, all right, guys, that's the spotlight of the week. Still trying to figure out there who's going to play the Suns in the championship. Kudos again to Chris Paul for finally getting over that hump. Now he needs to go and win it. If he wins it, will he retire? Maybe he will. We'll see. All right, guys, the headlines of the week this week. Damian Lillard taking some heat. These next two kind of tie into each other. Damian Lillard taking heat because he endorsed the Chauncey Billups hires. The Trailblazers have officially hired Chauncey Billups as their Knicks head coach. And he endorsed it. He said, I want Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd took his name out of the running. So he said, okay, I want Chauncey Billups. Well, Chauncey Billups was accused of sexual assault back in 1997. So fans are mad at that he's their head coach. They're not over that, apparently. Damian Lillard now wants out of Portland, saying that all this drama, the offseason search for head coach, the fans that are frustrated with Damian Lillard now, and everything going on, and the failure to build a championship team, and his worries that they're going to be able to, he kind of wants out. There's been rumors of him going to the Mavericks or wherever, but the Portland fans, you're an idiot. You're dumb. I don't understand why you want to force out your only superstar. I don't get it. He has been your team. He has put the team on his back. He is an amazing NBA talent who's done everything he can. He stayed with your team for a really long time, and I figured he would stay there until he retired. I figured that he was that type of guy, but I don't blame him for wanting out. He's put his time in Portland. But for you fans to be so mad about Chauncey Billups' hire because of something that happened in 1997, I think it's kind of dumb. It goes back to cancel culture. Now, look, Jason Kidd just got hired with the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks have recently had a bunch of sexual stuff going on in their organization. That all broke out a couple years ago. They hired Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd he actually has been charged with domestic violence. He has had DUIs. Chauncey Billups didn't get charged with it. Now that they settled out of court, we don't know what happened. Is it this story is correct? Are they not? Jason Kidd has been charged with domestic violence, DUIs. He got hired on with Dallas. Dallas fans aren't trying to get Dirk Nowitzki, who endorses the pick, or Mark Cuban, who endorsed the pick of Jason Kidd, or Luka, out of Dallas, because we're not dumb. It doesn't make no sense. This cancel culture is BS in my opinion, and the people that are complaining about this up in Portland. Now Portland's known for being a little more hippie-ish. They're I don't know what you want to call it. It's kind of like Austin. I keep Austin weird. Portland's that way, and maybe they feel like this is something that they need to fight. But I think it's dumb. You're pushing out your star player. You're going to cause a bunch of issues for your basketball team. This didn't happen last year. It didn't happen in 2017. It happened in 1997. All right, guys. I think it's time to let it go. Those people who are casting the stones, I hope that you haven't done anything wrong in your life, because going back in someone's past that many years ago and saying, oh, this guy's a horrible human being is ignorant. It really is. People change over time. You can definitely change, make better decisions, and do whatnot. I don't know what happened with Chauncey Billups in 1997. and neither do you probably, but you look up his record and you probably go, oh, well, this guy's a piece of crap and I don't want him as my head coach. I think it's ignorant. But yeah, you're going to force Damian Lillard out. There's been reports about him going to the Mavericks. I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see where he goes. And then the Trailblazers are also in the news because they did give an interview for Becky Hammon, and she's still on the market. In the last episode, me and Jeff talked about the Trailblazers hiring her and would she get a job somewhere. Well, the Trailblazers are taking heat for not hiring Becky Hammon. And this is exactly what we did not want to happen, right? When you're going to hire somebody, it should be who's better qualified. It shouldn't matter male, female, black, white, Latino, Hispanic. It should not matter. What should matter is who's more qualified to do so. If they're hiring someone just because they're female, they're not doing her a favor. You want to hire someone that is the better candidate. Just doing her, you're not doing her a favor, especially if she comes in, she's not qualified, or she wasn't the better candidate, and your team doesn't succeed. You're not. It just looks bad. Hiring her because she's the right candidate is the way that you want that to go. It's a sign of respect of, hey, you're the best candidate for the job. We're going to offer it to you because you've earned it. You put the time in. You deserve this spot. It wasn't given to you because you're female. And if some teams will hire someone just because it's a publicity, be the first team to hire a female coach to be a publicity stunt is no respect in Becky Hammon. And I want her to get hired because she is the best person for the job. And I would want my team to hire her if she is the best candidate. I don't care if she's female. I don't care what color of skin a person is. If they are the better candidate, then so be it. There's a reported rumor that the Spurs, they call it the Spurs, and the Spurs said she would not be good for a head coaching job. Now, this is kind of interesting because Popovich has talked about how good she is and how she's qualified and she will be a good head coach and yada, 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 right? He's publicly endorsed her. Maybe they did say, hey, she won't be a good head coach because they're trying to keep her there in San Antonio. I don't know. I think she'll find a job out there, but to get mad at somebody because they didn't hire her just because she's female, and the pressure that they feel is dumb. You're going to force teams to not want to even give her an interview because if you don't hire her at that point, then it makes you look bad and you get that bad publicity. But it's been a crazy offseason so far. We're not even into the official offseason, but for the Trailblazers. So they've got some interesting things happening there. All right, another basketball-related thing. Scottie Pippen goes scorched earth on the Dan Patrick Show. He calls Phil Jackson a racist. He said that so back in the day, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen was the best number 2, yada, 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 right? So Michael Jordan got hurt, and they needed a game-winning shot to go on to the next round. And instead of giving Scottie Pippen the final shot, Phil Jackson drew up a play to give Kukoc the final shot, who hit the shot and they went on to win. But Scottie Pippen was so angry at the point that he quit on his team. He sat on the bench. He got his feelings hurt. So Kukoc took the shot, won. Scottie Pippen says it was a racial move, and Dan Patrick said, so you're saying that means you think that he is a racist, and Scottie Pippen said, I'm okay with that. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Pippen sounds like a butthurt player. Scottie Pippen, who is one of the best to do it, has convinced himself, or someone has convinced him that nobody remembers who he is. I don't understand with what's so bad about being Scottie Pippen, one of the best players in the NBA? He multiple championships. A lot of people out there think that it takes one person to win it all, but it takes a team effort. If Phil Jackson was a racist, we would hear it from other players. You would hear Michael Jordan coming out. You would hear Shaquille O'Neal coming out. This would have been brought out probably by Kobe Bryant before he passed away somewhere in his life. You would have heard rumblings. But they don't. They endorse Phil Jackson, and then they preach highly of Phil Jackson. So, Scottie Pippen, you sound dumb. You sound butthurt, and get over it, man. That's all there is to it. Now he's coming out with a book. I'm probably going to be wanting to read that book because it's probably going to have some stories maybe we didn't hear. Maybe hear it from Scottie Pippen's side. But I just think he sounds like a butthurt player who can't get over what happened a long time ago. You sound like the Trailblazers fans. Just saying. All right. Friday tomorrow is the date that the players in the NFL can opt out of the NFL season due to COVID. This brings it back to, will Aaron Rodgers opt out? Now, I thought this broke like a couple weeks ago that Aaron Rodgers actually does have a way where he can opt out of the season, not give any money back, and not play for the Green Bay Packers. And it's just something they put in for last year and this year due to COVID. I thought it was either retire or play. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this came out a couple weeks ago that he can actually sit out due to COVID, but he has to make his final decision by Friday. So we'll figure that out tomorrow, hopefully, if that news breaks, if he's going to sit out due to COVID reasons, or if he's going to opt out due to COVID ratings, or what he might do. If tomorrow passes and he makes no decision, then it's either sit out or play. So we'll see if he opts out. That's going to be interesting to see if that breaks on Friday. Trevor Bauer, Dodgers pitcher, is in some legal trouble as he gets a restraining order placed against him for an apparent claim of domestic abuse. Now, this is an interesting story that's broke the last couple of days. I haven't been able to read the text messages. There's been text messages between Bauer and this lady. The team says this is consensual. So basically, this lady and Bauer have been, making love with each other, whatever you want to call it, right? And the lady likes some kinky, freaky stuff in the bedroom, okay? The text prove it that she likes to be choked and hit and everything else, but this is consensual. I don't know. Bauer says, I have text to prove that this is consensual. She came to see me both times it happened. This is what this is what she wanted. They're in the text messages. They release the text messages. I don't know. If you're going to sign up and go to someone's house and this is what you want, I don't think you can later then say, oh, well, this is domestic abuse. It's a touchy subject, but I'm going to leave it here because Trevor Bauer, being who he is, an athlete who makes a lot of money, you put yourself in a dumb situation. You literally did. You put yourself in a dumb situation to where you led yourself down the road of being sued. You led yourself down the road of people thinking you're a woman beater. Not saying you are. Would I do this? No, not a chance. Right? I'm not openly slapping a woman in the face because that's what she wants in the bedroom. I'm not doing it. Right? I'm just not. I'm a man. And I was raised with some morals, and I'm not doing that. So I just think when you're a person that has money, or you're a person that's a celebrity and you're famous, whether it be an actor or an athlete, you got to watch out what you're doing. And you can't put yourself in dumb situations like this because it's going to turn around and bite you. And whether you think you did anything wrong or not, whether only two people who know what went on in that bedroom is you, the woman, and God. So I don't know. This is a crazy situation, And I feel that Bauer is kind of dumb for putting himself in that situation in the first place. But I don't see how you can fault him any harm, charge him with anything, if you have text proving that this is kind of what you both wanted and agreed upon twice. This happened twice. It wasn't a one ordeal thing. The woman did go to the hospital for concussion. Want to be tested out if she had a concussion or not. So we'll see what happens with it. I don't know if anything does. Now, something else that came out the other day, there's a pitcher for pitches for the Seattle Mariners, and I forget his name. It is, let's see, I forget his name, but he is the first pitcher in Major League to get suspended 10 games for using an illegal substance in the major leagues. They removed his glove. They ejected him out of the game. Hector Santiago, that's what it is. Now, we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks about the sticky situations. It's actually an episode we discussed on this podcast, and we kind of talked about the substances, and it's been a rule for a long time. MLB is cracking down on it now that they think that is going to help the game and everything else. So this pitcher is the first pitcher to be suspended. They take off his glove. They feel a sticky substance in his glove, and they eject him. They put it in a trash bag, and you think it's going to be tested. You think that the MLB would wanted to test this and see if they were going to suspend him 10 games. What it was. The pitcher says it's just rosin and sweat, and if you mix rosin with sweat together, it makes kind of a sticky paste. Well, the Major League Baseball suspended him, and they said they're not doing an investigation on the glove. They're not making sure that it was a legal substance because rosin is fine to use in baseball. The rosin bag is always on the mound. Pitchers use it. So I don't understand what the big deal was. Now by rule, you can't have rosin on your glove. Now, I think that's the rule. They said that the other day on the 105.3 The Fan. They were talking about that you can't have it on the glove, I think, but it's still an approved substance. So I don't understand really the 10-game suspension and why they wouldn't at least do everything that they can to send it to a lab and figure out what exactly it was. But he'll serve as 10-game paid suspension. It's actually a 10-day paid vacation, really, because it's just 10 days off. You get paid, and that's it. It's kind of slap on the wrist thing. Maybe over the next year, maybe they come down harsher on it. But we'll see what happens with this sticky situation type of things, because it's all about grip of the baseball, and it's all about spin rotation. And the more spin rotation you get, the ball moves better. You have better control, which means batters are striking out more, not putting the ball in play, and things like that. Now, we're going to see from when this goes to the future what this is going to do to the batters. Are they going to be able to hit the ball better or not? I think the numbers are up so far since they've cracked down on it. So I'm interested to see, though. There will be someone that looks at all the stats and figures out really what goes into it. So that's going to be interesting to see what they do in Major League Baseball about that. So it's kind of it's been a shorter episode than last week. Last week's episode was 2 hours long. This is only 33 minutes so far. But that's all I got for you, news-based, sports-based information here. It's just me going solo this week, so it's going to be a little bit shorter. But in my locker this week, I've got not a lot going on. I've got work that I've been dealing with. Obviously, everyone deals with work. I've been interested to see what the Aaron Rodgers situation is. Interested to see if he opts out because of COVID or not by Friday. That's the final decision day for opting out. Not sitting out, but opting out. So we'll figure that out and go from there. Next week, I'm going to talk a little bit about, well, I'll maybe hold off on that. We'll get into NFL when basketball season is over, and they've made a couple lists of head coaching and where they rank everybody, and quarterback lists where they rank everybody. And I just want to go through a little bit and see if we agree or disagree on that list. But we'll get into that. I've saved those topics for later down the road. This weekend, my mother is going to take my 2 older girls, drive up to Kansas, and visit some family. And so it's just going to be me and the wife and the littles. We call the littles. It's my 2 youngest daughters. And just going to be us. So it'll be kind of quiet and nice around the house. And then when my mom gets back, she's going to be bringing 6 other kids along with my 2 kids back. And we're going to have them for a week. It's going to be crazy in the household. So we got to go grocery shopping and fill up the fridge for them coming over. But it should be lots of fun cousin playtime. So that'll be fun for them. I don't know how fun it'll be for us, but it'll be fun for them. Real quick, I just wanted to thank you guys for taking your time to listen to this podcast. If you like it, share it. Please share it around. Send it around. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Google Podcast, Apple Music. You can find us anywhere you can look up to think about a podcast. You can find Watson's Playbook. We're just trying to throw out these shows. Hopefully soon enough we'll be able to get our YouTube channel up and going and get back to our YouTube page. And sorry, my wife is cooking, and I can smell it from in here, and it smells delicious. But I wanted you guys to know I'm always here for you. This is a podcast show, but I'm a very social guy. I like to talk. I like to make friends. I like to do some good in the world and put back some good out there. So if you are struggling with anything in your life and you just need someone to talk to, feel free to reach out. I'm serious. Depression, mental health issues, suicide is a big thing. It's nothing you can look past. It's something that you might need a friend to talk to. I may not know you personally. I probably don't know you at all. But if you're listening to this and you need someone to talk to, you need a shoulder to cry on, you need a person to vent to, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you. You can email me at watsonsplaybook@gmail.com. It's simple, easy. Send me an email about your life issues. Send me an email about whatever you're dealing with. On Facebook, there is a page. I drive for Waste Connections. I'm a garbage man. I'm not your residential garbage man that comes and picks up the trash for your front door, but I'm a commercial guy who picks up the 8-yard cans, 6 yards, and stuff like that for businesses. And there's a Trash Man's United Facebook page that I'm on because we're kind of all in the same industry and waste management and everything, all these other different kind of waste guys out there. And guy posted on there about him losing his family to divorce and his son in divorce, and he feels like crap. And reached out to him, man. If you need someone to talk to, I know you don't know me personally, but seriously, if you need someone to talk to, anything you need, so just reach out to me if you need so. I would love that. I would love to be able to, and even if it's just to say hi, if you ask me questions about anything, if you think you can give me some advice on a better podcast show, feel free. If you got any questions about my sports take, feel free. You have some funny dad jokes, feel free. You have some dad advice for me, feel free. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a good and great 4th of July weekend this weekend. Going to be fantastic. Go out and enjoy it, being in a great country where you can live free and celebrate. So go out, celebrate, and have a good time. Be safe and smart about it. Don't drink and drive. God bless, and take care.